We are live finally. Aces up. Episode 39. Sorry for the delay, audience. We had a couple of close friends catching up on things, and before we knew it, it was 8:45. So here we are. We're live though. We're back. We got some interesting data that the professor has brought along, as usual. And we got a good friend of mine, Michael Reedy from Fantrax. What's up, guys? How's everybody doing this evening?
Always happy to be here.
Nice.
Excited.
Awesome. All right. So there was a little bit of news today before we jump into the data, Professor. We got Rashee Rice testing positive for marijuana on probation. Now he's going to do 30 days in jail. Also, some news come out about him having a cleanup surgery on his knee, and he could be sidelined 2 months regardless. So, he's been going in the second round in the highest, the 2-3 turn, I should say, in the high stakes world. I don't know about underdog or anything like that. I'm assuming he's up there, but now obviously we're going to see a huge slide. I was already off of him. I don't know what your guys' thoughts on this. Mike, we'll start with you. Rashee Rice, what are your thoughts there?
On my one Dynasty team I have him. I'm not trading him. I'll keep him just like last year. We'll see what happens. He can't stay out of trouble, it appears, right? The diva wide receiver continues to be a thing, I guess, where these guys who are really good wide receivers tend to be out there thinking they can do whatever they want all the time. And he's one of those. I don't know. Do you think they're going to suspend him after he has this 30-day legal issues? And if they do, would that even be this coming season? It'll probably be next season, because that seems to be how it is with these things. So, I'm more concerned fantasy-wise for his scope, that he had done on his knee. Is he really okay? Probably. The outlook of the United States right now, marijuana, I'm surprised they're still nailing people for that.
It's because in Texas, where he committed the crime and is on probation, it's still illegal recreationally. Yeah.
So I had debates many times on X over the years with people saying it's stupid. They needed to manage pain. Look, I don't care if you think it's good or bad or whatever you think about it. I don't do drugs myself. I don't smoke pot. If it's illegal in that state, don't get caught doing it. They have a right to enforce the law. What do you want me to say? I know there's a bunch of states like Maine, Massachusetts, right? Colorado, where marijuana is legal. Dude, you're really that desperate to smoke weed? Just go into one of those states. I don't know. I think
wait till you retire, and then you can spend $1 million on it and sit there all day long on your couch. You're playing with Patrick Mahomes. you entered a beautiful situation.
Fantasy wise, if he's playing, I'm playing him. But fantasy wise, if he's playing, I'm playing him. Do I want him dating my daughter? No, I think he's an idiot. But that's
Any thought you think that they'll go after somebody like Stephon Diggs or Deebo Samuel now, somebody who can play that underneath role as well as outside if necessary, not as effective outside anymore.
If they can get veteran minimum, yeah. Stephon Diggs comes with his own problems, right? This last one got laughed right out of court, but he tends to find a way to have some controversy and issues here and there too. They might be all right if they had to play without him for a bit. Anyways, they seemed to be okay last season when Rice wasn't in the lineup. They weren't horrible. Mahomes, he also had an operation, right? Is he going to be as mobile as he was? I don't know yet. I would assume yes. I think that's going to impact his ADP quite a bit as the summer wears on, if we don't know. But again, fantasy production wise, Mahomes is a top 10 guy every single year. There's no questions there, right? I mean, with upside to be higher than that. Rashee Rice is a really good fantasy wide receiver when he's on the field. I don't know if he'll be suspended this season. So on my Dynasty's team, for instance, I'm not getting rid of him. Last year when he was out, those, 6 games was it last season? I wasn't drafting him in redraft, and people said I was crazy. And I'm like, dude, I won like 5 championships. I don't care if I'm crazy. I'm not drafting Rashee Rice where you guys were taking him with ADP, sit on my bench for 6 weeks, which could cause me to have 6 losses. So, if he's not suspended, draft him at ADP or higher if you really like him. He's going to produce. He is an idiot, though. He will get in trouble again.
Right. I mean,
he will.
So my source on all things legal is Drew Davenport. I don't know if you guys follow him. He's excellent at this.
I read his thing a while ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he seems to think that if he does get suspended, it's probably only 3 games. But again, we don't know enough info yet, so we can't really say that. But it would fall under that. I don't think it would be any more than 3 games. So, I mean, there is a point where if he's going to drop. The Football Guys Dave Kluge is live streaming a Football Guys draft right now, and I texted Mike Sander, who's in that draft, friend of mine, fellow NFFC guy, and he never responded. I don't know if the text message didn't go through or he's just prepping for the draft, but I asked him how far you think Rashee falls, and so I'm interested. I'm going to go back and listen to that for sure and see exactly where he goes tonight, because the news is fresh and we're getting a live stream draft tonight. That's so we'll see.
I would advise investing in Tyquan Thornton late.
Right?
Like
I like that, Mike. That's a good one.
Some of the metrics I look at, Rice is, he's in the top group, top 24, top 10, top 12. He's still, I think I've got my metrics a little bit, about 5% says it's less than people that he did last year. So I'm not reaching for him. He would go probably where people would already have drafted him before I would pick him. So I'm probably, and again, I won't be drafting until mid-August. So I got plenty of time to let all this settle, this controversy. I hate the controversy that shows up in August. That's when it gets really dicey, is you're still guessing what's going on. But what can you do? But right now, that's fine. Let everybody spin around, and I'm just going to let y'all spin, and I'll collect when I can.
His overall ADP is 19 right now. Yeah, it's probably going to drop from there, right? He's a top 20 pick today. With this news, it's going to drop just because people are going to panic. It's probably overreaction because we don't know. I mean, I'll also say at 19, somebody else is probably going to draft him before I would anyways. Even without this news, I'm probably not taking him at 19.
Yeah, I was already off him at 19 as well. That's just at some point, every player has a price. So, it's be interesting to see how far he slides. Last year I took him on one team. I had 24 managed teams, and I had 1 Rashee Rice, and it was because he fell to the 6th round.
Oh, I'd take him there too.
And I had 3 wide receivers already, including Jamar Chase. So I thought the upside by picking him there was in putting him right in the flex spot as my wide receiver 4 once he's there back would be huge. And it was until he got hurt.
Fishbowl, was that against me?
No. This was a New York 350 that I lost by 0.38 points or something like that. 0.8. So I came in second, or third. No, I came in third, but first through third, there was like a 0.38 points difference.
Oh,
And it was because I didn't start Terry McLaurin the week before when he was first game back, and I was hesitant and I didn't put him in my lineup, and he scored like a 21 or something, and the guy had like a 11 or something or a 13.
I know the game you're talking about because I didn't play him that.
Yeah, I had a couple of people reach out to me and was like, "Don't be so hard on yourself. I don't think that was such a bad call." And I was like, "I don't know, man. I drafted him as my wide receiver 3. He's healthy. I should be playing him." Like, that's how I looked at it after the fact. But, you know,
I lost a game I needed to win that week. I had him on 3 or 4 teams, and I did not play him anywhere that week. And in one league, I really needed to win, and I was really angry at myself for sitting him. But I was like, I didn't play him anywhere, so I wasn't playing him here either. It happens.
Nice. All right, so let's get into some of the professor's data. I'm going to bring up a chart. Yeah, we'll jump right to that. Rishi Rice is done. There we go. This is the first slide.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know I was the star tonight. That's good.
You are. You're the star.
Without Dennis here, because by the way, audience, Dennis is not here because he is bowling. I don't know what you guys think about
what
that.
What is this?
I didn't give him a hard time. Professor thinks I should have.
Yes, he needs to be chastised a lot. Well, I mean, this is not bowling season. This is research, play fantasy season. You bowl after the Super Bowl for a little bit. Anyway,
we bowled the first day of the expo. That's what we did on Thursday night. We all went out bowling.
That's right. Yeah, I will be traveling from Michigan. I'm taking my family up to Upper Michigan and partying up there, whatever's going on up there, and driving into Canton. And Friday I don't think we're going to the Lego store, the Cheesecake Factory. I think my daughter and wife have already got it all planned. I'm just along for the ride. But Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be, Dennis and I are going to be rocking and rolling, doing things. This is quarterbacks here. You see the name, the color means it is a tier based on 2026 projected points, which includes some of my consistency metrics and all sorts of other secret sauce. There it is. And then don't worry about the scaled. I'll use that later. And then last year, 2025 fantasy points per game. So it's fantasy points per game. And then I have a difference. So I'm doing it to see in my head what people react, whatever was last year is gospel this year. And they usually get burned on some of those opinions. So I'm trying to see where the so-called underlays and overlays might be for my drafts in August. If it's red and below 100%, then that means my model says it's worse than it was last year. If it's green and if it's above, say 110, 20, then that means the model is more favorable than what they did. So I guess you can predict an improvement. So for instance, Trevor Lawrence is number 2 in the model. He's predicted to be whatever that is, 20, 30% better than last year. That's intriguing to me. And he might be part of my strategy. I usually do multiple quarterbacks and stream. I hate to pay for Josh Allen so early, so I won't, and I will do streaming. I'm pretty good at streaming. and streaming quarterbacks and tight ends. And then I invest heavily in wide receivers, and then running backs. I get good ones, but then I take Dennis Mitchelson's approved secret running backs that he picks for me. So we get secret stuff that he tells me, and I listen to him, and it's all good. So that's what it is, Joe. If you want to ask about the extremes, you can. Whatever.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Why is Justin Herbert in the red?
Because what he did last year.
So is it based on last year's data?
The model.
Okay.
Yeah, the model
that makes a little more sense than I guess.
Yeah. So he did really well last year, and the model says not so fast. So whatever it is, less than that.
Though?
Yeah. Well, remember, these are numbers, but each number represents a range of outcomes, right? That's what stats really is. People, it's 102 and that's better than 101. No, it's not, folks. No. Okay. So that's why tiers can, at least if you're new to this, I would use tiers as a suggestion of what are all in that group. And then I probably need to pick one in that group. So for me, I would like Lawrence, and then maybe down the road, let's see, maybe I don't know, Baker, DeWade, it just depends on the ADP. It's hard for me to guess in May what I'm doing in August, but that's the kind of strategy is trying to find quarterbacks who the model seems to suggest will be better than they were last year. That's just kind of a big rule. And then you use other metrics to kind of tweak a little bit.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Mike, you got any thoughts on this chat?
Well, I like this, and I like the strategy of going late round QB. I mean, I view myself as a disciple of late round QB, right? Guys who play in leagues with me for years actually expect me to do that, and some of them will take quarterbacks to try to prevent me from getting who I want later in the draft. I never take one early, like hardly ever. If I do, it's only to disrupt other people's expectations of my draft. I love seeing Drake May, being a Patriots fan, ranked so high here.
He's number one.
Yeah, I agree with that, by the way. I think it's a step forward year. Trevor Lawrence, the way he played the second half of last year,
it was insane.
It makes me understand your metrics a little bit. And so, I'm going to answer Justin Herbert question for you, Joe. This is expected for this year, right? This is what.
Yeah, this 17. Yeah,
so
17. 17.4.
And it's a drop from last year.
Yes.
And that's because
20% drop.
I don't even need to know what his stats are.
Yeah.
I would say that this is going to occur because of we're looking at running backs being healthy this year, and we know who the coaches are and that they would probably prefer to use a running back more. And what defenses they're playing against this year are more than likely causing that red bar over there for what's coming. Because I'm not in on Justin Herbert this year. I'm not in on Joe Burrow this year, who's one of my favorite guys because when you can get him late. I like seeing Matthew Stafford where he is, by the way, here. I think guys like Stafford.
He's amazing, actually.
Yeah, Stafford. Baker Mayfield. I mean, Baker Mayfield's ADP is going to be down again this year. I love that.
I think you can put together, Mike, 2 or 3 good ones that you can stream in a big bench.
That's typically what I try to do, right? And Jacoby Brissett, for instance, was a lifesaver last year for me in a lot of leagues. If you're spending high draft capital and somebody doesn't pan out, Jared Goff was such a roller coaster last year that when he was bad, he was really bad and you lost, you know?
Yeah.
So I like this. I always put players in tiers, by the way, as well.
Yeah.
I probably do not use as many data points as you use to create this. I'm just not as sophisticated. That's all. Open to saying that, but I tend to head to similar conclusions as usual to John and Dennis based off of the numbers we're looking at. It's kind of like, it sounds bad, but I can tell you who's going to be in articles like Matthew Berry's love hate every freaking week of the season based off of the data points, because I know he's using the same ones I do. Right? It's you can tell when people are using a lot of the same data. You know, where I'm going to be interested to see what happens of things like Bo Nix and Tyler Shuck. I want to see what happens with them as things progress through this offseason, because those are two guys that could both pan out big. And you have Bo as a really high.
Yes, maybe the highest. I mean, so, you know, when you have something like that, that doesn't mean you draft him in the third round. It's just telling you that, you know, you kind of figure out where he's going to go, and it's probably his price is good. And so if he drops even further, it's even sweeter. So sometimes people say, well, you go get your guy. Well, no, I don't. I mean, I'll pass on my guy if he's too expensive.
Nix was one of my late round guys last year, and I was disappointed.
His ceiling is so high, but he was if you like, I had him and Caleb Williams. What a nightmare trying to manage those two on one team. Okay, there was one week I played Caleb, and he got like I thought he had the better matchup. He got like a 35, not terrible, but Bo Nix got like a 49 or a 51 or something. It was that game that they came back. And it was they were down by like three or four scores, and they came back, and Bo Nix threw it. It was I remember being at Encore Casino in a 1-3 poker game, watching it on the TV, and just seeing Denver touchdown. I was like, what the hell is going on? And I had him on my bench. Yeah, it was great.
In a 1 QB league, I cut him the week before that.
Yeah. He's so hard.
He wasn't good.
He was so hard to predict, man, when he's going to go off like that. You had to just roll with him every week if you had him. And I didn't do that because eventually I just left Caleb Williams in there from that point on, I think. I don't think there was
Caleb
any
was
other.
Pretty steady, though. I understand.
Yeah, he finished top 10, and I got him in round 16.
He was very steady.
In that particular draft. So, yeah,
and
I kind of wish I never burned an 8th round pick on Bo Nix. Yeah.
Yeah, I drafted a lot of Bo Nix last year and was very
I know. I was in on him because I thought 8th is like the earliest I like to take a quarterback. I'm like you guys too. I'll do 7th if I think there's like if I'm in a spot where I'm picking in the draft where I know he's not going to come back to me, and I think he fits my build, I'll pull him up right then and there, and I'll take a guy in the 7th round. But it's very rare that I that's about the range where I would start looking for a quarterback, I should say, and I should have waited longer. I wish I did, because last year the wait long, like there was Matthew Stafford. You were drafting Jacoby Brissett, so I'm not going to say him.
No, but Matthew Stafford wasn't drafted in a lot of leagues as well.
But Brissett, and they were free agent gold. Brissett and Jackson Dot were available early on. If you were shopping on that, and like I think I picked up Jackson Dot in week 3 or week 4 for like a couple dollars before.
Baker Mayfield was early season waiver wire gold. Remember, nobody drafted Baker. He was just out there. So yeah, like the difference between like QB 6 or 7 and QB 15 is really minute. Almost every year, I haven't looked at the data from last year to go through it deep, right? But from every season, I usually do that, and
for the most part, yeah,
I get very happy getting the guy who I look at that could finish as a top 12 quarterback, right? And it's because the point differential between the top guys and the 12th guy isn't that big of a difference. The drop off isn't big enough for me to say I have to have a top 3 guy, because if I don't, I'm going to lose every week. At quarterback, we had 1 year, was it 3 years ago, where the top 5 guys were significantly better than everybody else. But then it leveled right back out again the next year. They touch the ball a lot, right? And they're gonna the top 15 guys are all usually really good. And then if you're streaming, there's guys in the top 22, right, that you can plug in there. I mean, Tyler Shuck was playing for me last year on my Dynasty team, and I sat God, sorry, the brain fog from my illness is bad. What's his name? Texans quarterback. I sat him and I played Shuck, and it was a good move. I play in that. Dennis is in that Dynasty league with me as well. I won it for the first time, and I'm a guy who told you I was an almost contender almost every year. Like I was like a top 4 or 5 team, but I never viewed myself as a real contender, and I finally won it.
That's sweet. I do want to say, guys, that with this data, I actually do ADP draft pattern where I look at the landscape and I try to figure out where these quarterback runs and these kind of things are. I think in best ball, I've showed Joe some of those to where
the last couple of shows we've had
those. And you can actually start predicting kind of, okay, we're getting close to where everybody's going to start turning his attention on average. And so that's part of my strategy is I kind of know when do I need to make a move. I don't want to be at the end of a run. I want to start the run and whatnot. So, I mean, if I was if I was chatty enough, it was kind of mean. I would start after I started and grab one. I'd chat it up saying, well, the run starts, folks. I got my guy, and, whip up frenzy here. But I usually don't have to do that because people kind of react like that. So I have a pattern of what the ADP is telling me, and I would suggest everybody do that. And you can come check that out. I occasionally have I'll put those out, and you can look at it and start planning the landmarks. Where do you need to make moves for? If you've got to have a top 12 tight end, where is the last round you need to be picking? If that's, if you're happy with that, I mean, you got to decide questions. Am I happy with top 6 quarterback? Yes or no? If I got to have one, then where you're going to have to make your move, right? You can't wait till round 10 and wake up and say, yeah, we're quarterback 12 now. You cannot be asleep like that. So I like to see what I call it landscape analysis, to where I want to see what, on average, what should be going on. I know it can get crazy, but just at least I have a feel for what's going on and how people are going to respond. And so I would say do that on quarterbacks especially. I want to know where Lawrence is, Shuck, Nix, Mayfield. Some of the ones I'm interested in, I just want to kind of have a feeling where that's going to happen. And I don't want to sleep on that. I want to be ahead a little bit. If I'm really going to be my guy, then I don't need to sleep past that point. So I would urge everybody to do that.
Question for you here,
So what the professors taught. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
Go ahead, Joe. You go. My question can wait.
I was going to say what the professor's referring to is he produced us a chat the last couple of shows, and it basically showed on best ball ADP. It basically groups, and would you have them in groups of 7? I can't remember.
Yeah, I would look for gaps. I mean, so I
Yeah.
look for runs, and then I look for spacing,
So
and
so
I
we
look
would
for
we
the
would
top
get
six, the
we would
next
get one
six,
quarterback through the first 3 rounds,
that
three
kind of thing.
quarterbacks through the first 5 rounds, and then this was like the 7th round. There were 5 taken. It shows a breakdown of how many players of each position go in each round, so you can really
you can
see
spot-
where the runs are. It's basically having an ADP draft board open in front of your face, and you're kind of seeing the trends and the runs. I mean, and again, it's just it was based on FFPC best ball ADP, which is it's high. They say it's high stakes. The only thing high stakes about it is the amount of money you can win. The buy-ins are only $35 and $125.
We like that.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
like cheap.
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I like to gamble pennies. I like to
Yeah.
gamble pennies to win dollars, folks.
Yeah.
Don't gamble dollars to win pennies. Just don't do it. So that's game theory right there. Pennies to dollars, not dollars to pennies.
But that's what the professor's talking about when he's saying you can put checkpoints and what did you say, flag points where
right
where
where you need to
where you're going to make a move for this particular guy, and then it kind of gives you the info of where you need to be beforehand. So you want to take care of, like you said, your running back, wide receiver centric.
You just need to know where you need to know, right?
You can grab that elite tight end if you want. If you're already planning to go late quarterback, elite tight end becomes an option. Yep. It's hard to do both. So, it's one, I mean, and you can, like you said, like Mike said, he'll fade both. And if there's tight ends and quarterbacks that he likes in the mid to late rounds. So, but it just gives you your options on your build on how you want to approach your draft once you know what spot you're picking from, and you can kind of take it from there. But
yeah, and if you're really prepared, you can let the draft come to you, which is what I like to do, right? When I know who I would like in the first few rounds. Like, one of my questions was going to be, how do the tiers work on this? Assuming, right, the bright green McCaffrey, Robinson, Devin Achan, that's tier 1.
Yes.
So
tier 2 is Gibbs. Tier 3
Gibbs and Kyron Williams.
Let's see. Yeah, boy, I can't.
Yeah. Kyron's the same color as Gibbs.
No, that is just me using colors, so it changes. Okay. So no, Gibbs is above Williams. But
I know that, but is Cook and Jonathan Taylor both a tier above Williams too then?
Yes.
All right. That's what I was trying to figure out.
But really, I mean, that's just me taking about 5 minutes and not thinking about anything other than just the model points. Again, I'm not a slave to any model, but it's a guiding thought. This is how we think about things. You just cannot be a slave to any one piece of data or how you feel or what you just saw last week or what somebody just said on Twitter before your draft. You've got to try to live like you've worked all this time this summer. Don't go crazy now. At the racetrack, I'd have a pick, get in the window, and then the dude in front of me is betting $100 on this other horse, and it makes me, well, I'm betting 2 on this old nag, and this guy, he must know something. And then you bet on him, and yours won, and his lost. And it can I'm telling you, it can drive you crazy, these kind of things, and you could get carried away. So models are for thinking. That is thinking and being thoughtful, not to be robotic. And I'm a slave to this.
Well, I can tell you, a couple of my friends that play in leagues with me purposely read my content just so they can use it against me all the time.
Yeah.
So that stuff, I mean, sometimes it can work for me because
that was me when I was sniping you all over the place last year. Fishbowl.
You sniped me quite a bit, by the way, in that one draft. Yes, you did. But I like where I see Kyron Williams here. That's what I wanted to say, and I think people are coming in high on him right now, which is a shock to me because I've felt for the past couple of years the only person who loves Kyron Williams is me, and I love him because of ADP.
I like him too. I've always liked him.
And the production's there, and the people who hate him try to tell me how he's not talented, and I'm like, yeah, the Rams say differently. They keep giving him the damn football, so I love him, right? Like, Kenny Gainwell, where is he? I was just looking at. He's the 15th.
Under Walker.
Right now, he's 15 in overall ADP. The ninth.
I got him 12. Yeah,
he may move up just because he's playing for the Chiefs. I would take him where he is. I see you have his estimated production for this year to be pretty high as well with that 122%. I mean,
no, that's a Walker. But so Walker was 11 last year. The model says he's 13. Gainwell's about 5%. So you could argue whether that is.
Oh yeah, Walker's who I mean, the Kansas City running back. I think he's going to go up because Andy Reid running backs are always awesome, right? Like almost always, if you're the premier running back in that offense. Kenny Gainwell, I don't know how I expect him to produce yet this year. I'm kind of up in the air on that.
We'll talk about him later. I got those 10 questions I wanted to ask you guys. We can touch on later. Kenny Gainwell's involved there, but I wanted to talk about the whole situation. Where do you have Bucky Irvin on here? He's at 110%.
Let's see. Old Bucky.
13.
Yeah, Bucky is number 16. So the model says he's going to do 10% better per week. That's what it says. I haven't looked at ADPs because I'm going to have other things besides the model.
Bucky's been falling. He went, sixth round, mid sixth round.
Well, I got him as RB2, so if he keeps dropping, I'm probably collecting on him. I don't, like I said, it's hard to guess when I'm doing in August, but
so Professor, you use all of this data just to percolate in your brain over the few months as you devise your overall what I want to do plan come August, I guess.
Yeah, I let Dennis chew on it a little bit. I think about what, bouncing off ideas. I look at what the landscape's going to give me. I will include ADP at some point, but I include. Like I said, I need enough to make a decision. Right? You set metrics up and then you decide, and that's what data analysis is. And having been a trained microbiologist all my life, basically, I've been doing that all my life. So it's pretty simple to do these days. As a graduate student, I was a big dummy. It'd take me days to figure stuff out now that I can do fairly quickly. I mean, I'm actually ready to go get my PhD now. At 66, it's like, man, I know how to do this stuff. And so fantasy football, I've been playing a long time, and this is the best. I feel like, and I'm probably tricking myself, I feel like I've got a lot of good tools to test this year, and I'm looking forward to 3 years of this model to see, is it doing what it needs to do. Of course, I got to have ROI, right? The bottom line is I'm making money. So far, I've been lucky and been making money almost every year. In fact, I'm not sure I hadn't made money every year. That's what you wonder. People on X, they'll say this, that. Well, how much? What's your ROI? I wish there was. I know Fantasy Receipts tries to do a few things. They're kind of goofy, but we should all have, ROIs. I don't care about how good we're picking. Do you make money? I mean, to me, you can have good picks and never bet your picks, right? I mean, people at the tip sheets at the horse rack trade, they'll pick them, but do they bet them? Do you bet what you say? Do you make money at your stuff?
I do what I suggest, win or lose. By the way, it's funny that you say that. Dennis had to defend me once because I had multiple people attacking me because I say negative things about trading all the time. Like, don't trade just to trade. Trading's fun. If you want to trade for fun, go ahead. I play to win. I don't trade just to trade. I'm never trading a wide receiver for a wide receiver straight up.
Oh, I love that dog.
I'm just not doing stuff like that. No, she's a Wheaton Terrier.
Very sweet.
I know you want to be on, huh? Good girl.
I want to know how she feels about Justin Herbert because I disagree with the professor and you.
You like Justin Herbert?
I don't see how well, I don't know. I just think that offense is going to be an explosion. I mean, how can you not factor in Mike McDaniel being the offensive coordinator? Offensive line healthy. Omarion Hampton healthy going into year 2.
Added David Njoku, so they now have 2 tight ends that can catch the football.
Trey Harris is underrated as well. Quentin Johnson's still there. Lad McCarthy, I don't know, man. And then you got Harbaugh on record last year when he came in as coach saying that he wanted to make Justin Herbert a Hall of Fame quarterback. I quote JC on that. JC, I was off of Herbert last year, by the way, and JC kept saying that, and he was on Herbert. And me and my buddy Steve D'Angelo actually auto-picked Herbert. We would live streaming in a draft, and we would talking about somebody, and we lost track of being on the clock, and we auto-picked Justin Herbert, and he turned out to be the starting quarterback the entire year. So until the end, obviously we went other ways down the stretch, but that was because the offensive line crumbled. Omarion Hampton missed time.
All I'll say is we'll see. The head coach likes to run the football historically, but granted. I mean, let's face it, Lamar Jackson was great playing for a great fantasy quarterback. McDaniels didn't do so great the past couple of seasons with his quarterbacks in fantasy. So we'll see. Herbert's really good quarterback. I'm not going to say he couldn't produce. I'm just saying I'm not in a hurry to draft him right now. That's all.
Okay.
Right? Like, I'm not. When as John and I were saying, by the time August rolls around, right, we'll know more, and then I can give you a really good answer. But today, May 19th, yeah, probably not in a hurry to draft him right now.
Fair enough, I guess. That's why you guys drafted August.
That's right.
We're guys like us, me, I'm over here. I only got one in. I'm not going nuts. If I do any more drafts this early, it'll be best ball. The only reason I jumped in early is because when I was studying the ADP of the first 4 or 5 football guys drafts, I kind of spotted an edge, like using the landscape and
game theoried them is what you did. You said, "Oh, their ADP sucks on these 3 or 4 guys."
No,
I'm gonna get them.
I said to myself,
before they get taken.
I would be a fool if I don't jump in a draft right now because there's a ton of guys that are going to be moving up that you can possibly get fault. Like, for instance, my buddy Mike Sander got a 3rd round Brock Bowers. From the back end, it's 3rd round reversal. I was trying to get the 12th pick. I didn't get the 12th pick. They used KDS style so you can put your preference of what pick you want, and then depending on the randomizer, if you're first, you get your first choice, and then it goes to the next person who has 2, and so on and so forth until it's filled. I ended up with the 9th pick. But the reason why I wanted 12 is because Bowers had a 21 to 24 range. And I thought if there was a chance, there's certain people that draft, like the same guys draft early. And there's more than 4 of them. There's like 4 or 5 of them that if those guys get the number 1 pick, I know they're not taking a tight end in that round 2 spot because they're not early tight end guys. And the number 1 pick in that draft is not an early tight end guy, and sure enough, Brock Bowers fell right there to the 3rd round, and Mike took him. Boom, Mike Sander, good for him. He's going to be one of the very few people that have a 3rd round Brock Bowers, because come August, he ain't coming anywhere near the 3rd round. In my opinion,
McBride probably won't be either, right?
McBride is going at like the pick before me. So what is that, 15? Yeah, because I had pick 9 and 16. So McBride's been going 12 to 15, which I think is too high. But
that's pretty high.
But Bowers, where at round 3 is real nice in this contest because there's not going to be too many of them.
Well, what's funny about that is Fantasy Pros has overall ADP of Brock Bowers right now at 21 and McBride at 24.
Really?
Yep.
That's not the case in the high stake streets. McBride's still going higher. It'll probably, I think as we get to August, that's going to close the gap. And this is what I'm talking about. There's just certain guys that I think are going to move up, and you're not going to, in this contest, it's an overall contest. If you have Brock Bowers in round 3, you have an edge on the guy that has Brock Bowers on round 2 because you got 2 elite players plus Brock Bowers. This, if I'm not saying the other team, the 2nd round Bowers team's 3rd round pick not going to work out, but it's just an upside type of thing. It's a clear edge in my opinion.
Travis Kelce used to be. I wrote an article one year about why you should draft Travis Kelce in the 1st round, right? Back when he was a monster, and if you were playing PPR, it was a good move because he was a big edge over every other tight end.
Right.
So I agree. I'm not against doing stuff like that when the fit's right. You know what I mean?
Well, in Kelce's instance, it was more of a gap between 1 and 2 as opposed to an ADP thing where he's fallen further.
Yeah, the gap was massive.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. Well, Bowers and McBride had a pretty good gap between them and number 3, didn't they, last year?
It's from a points per game perspective.
Yeah,
absolutely.
From a points per game. Yeah. So, taking those 2 guys relatively early is an edge. Depending on what you're looking at for a wide receiver or running back that's still available. You know what I mean? It's lots of dependencies, but yeah.
Is JC now speaking of devil? All right, so what are we looking at here, Professor? We got running backs. I put this up a few minutes ago.
Okay.
Take us through your thoughts on this.
Kyron Williams looks good. Kenneth Walker looks good. Let's see who else. I'll be looking at. I don't know this Phil. He must be I don't know who that is. Anyway, he came out. I don't know who he is. Some of these people I know. Dennis knows everybody. Estime is interesting to me. Spheres, Monanjay. Who's this guy? Hubbard. Yeah. So those are some that I think are going to be intriguing.
I don't see them here. Is that on the different slide?
Oh, it may be my secret stuff there.
Or further down. It's stuff he's keeping from us, Joe. He's keeping it.
If you guys
let's see what we got here. Where's slide 3? Slide 3.
Slide 3. Yeah, there's
there
some
we
more.
go.
Yeah, some more love. So I get intrigued by
go.
that. The one that I'm in the top three, I mean, Bijan is going to be even 8% better than he was last year. I like Devon Achane. And I'm really worried about Gibbs this year. I think he was really good last year. I'm concerned. Even though I still got him fourth, I still think there's going to be a decline. I think people will maybe take him a little over Achane. And like I said, I don't know the ADPs on these folks, so I'm not sure.
H8 is back end round one. Gibbs is top three.
Oh, I would take Achane and skip Gibbs. Yeah, I would. If that's my choice right now, yeah. I'd take Cook over Taylor. And so I look at tier, but then I look at last year, and I just figure people are going to get really pass happy or draft happy about Taylor, given what they did last year. I mean, people just love last year's stuff. They love, last week's stuff in the season, the last play stuff, anything sensational. We have a psychological bias, Joe. I know you like to study that, and this sensationalness, it sticks with us. We remember years later, just like losing to Gurley. I got Gurleyed. I will forget, I had all these teams in the playoffs and in the final, and I just got spanked, and I think there was a Kamara year. I got Kamara one year. I think he had 5 touchdowns. These things are so spectacular that they stick in your head, and we need to figure what, like Etch-a-Sketch. It's an old toy old folks used to play with. You just shake it and everything disappears. I need to do a lot more of that.
But Kamara's 5 touchdown game, I remember that very well. The famous
everybody
not saying how he's going to do this every week. He is not going to do every week. What if he does? There's no way.
No way.
He's gonna do this every week.
Yeah. That just cut my own throat here. It was so crazy. So, Joe, I'm not sure what you have, but those are some. So the ones I'm worried about are Gibbs, Taylor. I'm so sad for Scottaboo. I was on him last year. Me and Dennis loved him, and I think he's going to be about what he was last year.
Which was pretty
Hampton,
good.
Yeah. Everybody's on Hampton. I think he's going to be 6% less. So, those are what I'm thinking. So I'm going to have a little more ADP goodness to draft some of these ones that I think are kind of below what they did last year. And the ones above, I might reach a little bit more, Again, after 3 years of this data, I think I'll have a better idea of, what all this means. Is it just fake or is it real? This is the first year I can test stuff now.
Well, so the guy you said you didn't know here, Phil Maffa, he was the 3rd stringer or 4th stringer for the Cowboys last year. I think he's the backup now.
He must have done one fantastic game.
Easy to reach for him. His ADP is like 400 and
so he's a free square if I really like him. So just because my number gets him doesn't mean I reach for him anytime. I'll probably let him stay on the waiver wire.
I just found it funny that he's here, right?
He's got a high percentage because of a small sample size, right?
Yeah. I just ignore sample sizes here right now. I try to bias it just to make sure I catch everything. So I deliberately skew. I don't try to take away data. I hate to, let me eliminate all their good plays and then it's like, what? I mean, you
see that I'm already drafting. So I'm already adjusting the data I can see why you let it go as is because you're not drafting. So
Yes.
there's no reason for you to add in any other factors. You're just pulling what the model's given you. So
But
Yeah,
if you're playing against me, please reach for Phil Maffa.
Yeah. No. Again, you got to have common sense. Yeah. But I throw everything in first. You can always take it away, but I'm that's my style is deconstruction is how I study a system. In biology, you look at the ecosystem and then okay, what's the plants? What's the animals? What's the geology, the water? I mean, that's how, and then you go down level by level to understand what's going on, what's happening in this environment. And, I think, environment is so critical, and people, well, we as humans, needless to say, I got some biases about untested things that we put in the environment, and we hope it doesn't hurt us 20 or our kids 30 years down the road. I mean, there's some crazy stuff over the years that, people have done and not done. There's a lot of funny stuff in history of science, what people have done and not done. Anyway, that's a whole nother topic. Anyway, I'm gonna let y'all, because y'all got me talking like a lecturer again.
You're filling in the Dennis void.
I hate to do it. Damn it! Quit. I'll let y'all talk.
You're filling in the Dennis void. We love you, Dennis.
Yeah, we do.
I know. He's not even in the chat. He could at least chime in and say he bowled like a 173 or something. Is it Candlepin, or is it? I should have asked him.
It won't be Candlepin where he lives. They
no.
Don't have there. No.
So he lives in Denville, Illinois. So I don't know what they have out there. They may have a dirt thing and they roll watermelons. I don't know what they do out there in the sticks. In the cornfield, it gets a little crazy out there staring at the cornfield all day.
Well, Candlepin's a very New England thing.
I forgot about that, Mike. It really is.
Yeah, he just stares at that corn every day, and you just wonder. Sometimes I think his mind goes a little bit every day.
Candlepin's definitely more fun, in my opinion. Yeah.
I like Candlepin myself, but
it's a lot harder, obviously. But that's
a lot harder.
That's what makes it more fun. Yeah.
There's no perfect game. You know what I mean?
No, if you do like a 140, it's like a pat on your back. Yeah. Nice. All right, so I'm in on Tyrone Tracy. I see what's he at 100. He's in a positive color, so
that's good.
I like his ADP compared to Scatterbo. I worry about Scatterbo playing a complete season. Don't get me wrong. I think he's going to be great. He's like you said, the model has him replicating last year. Last year he was averaging 17.5 points PBR points per game. So
they did get some help with their offensive line, right?
Yeah.
So you would think he'll be better. The question is, can he stay healthy when he just likes to run into walls all the time, right? Like it's, that's the question I have with Scatterbo. I think he was great last year, but man, he sees the potential to have contact and he goes straight for it every time.
That's
being
a
fan, we love it. Being a fantasy football player, we don't like it all that much.
No. Gives us a little bit of agita for sure.
Yeah. Every
week. Makes us draft 3 running backs earlier than we want.
But I said the same thing about Jackson Dart. He doesn't avoid contact either. He goes right at it. And like as a fan, I love it.
I hope he dials it back because he is a really good quarterback.
I hope he dials it back too, because I don't want to see him get hurt. I used to say that about Josh Allen, by the way, as well, that he was so big into running over people.
He's big, though.
It was like, oh my God, stop running over people. You're going to get hurt.
he got the body to take it, like Cam Newton, Ben Roethlisberger. Those guys were able to take the big hits.
Oh, yeah. They're massive human beings.
But yeah, Tyrone Tracy's going in round 9. So I like him as a handcuff. He can catch passes as a former wide receiver as well. I think he's going a little bit undervalued. He's one of my favorite handcuffs to own this year for sure. Because I do think the Giants' offense is going to improve with Nathan.
I'll say this for Dennis at ADP, draft them both.
Yeah. Is it better than zero approach, right?
Better than zero. Yep.
I like that. How do you guys feel about Chuba Hubbard? I see he's in the green here as well.
Yeah,
who did they draft?
They have Jonathan Brooks coming back, but that doesn't, we have to see him healthy.
Well, Chuba proved himself last year. We'll see what happens.
I agree. I think I'm leaning more towards being pro Chuba than trying to fade him. He is the running back under contract, and Rico Dowdle. They let Rico Dowdle walk, and Rico Dowdle showed he could play. So, that speaks volumes in my opinion. Obviously, I mean that also could indicate that they confident in Jonathan Brooks being healthy, but I think it's more of a I think it's favors. If the situation favors Hubbard. I mean, I don't want to overthink this too much. I think Jonathan Brooks can maybe provide some late season value if Chuba's wearing down or Chuba were to miss time and an opportunity opened up and he was healthy and he could take it and kind of run with it and do kind of emulate with kind of like what Rico Dowdle did. I think that's a possibility, but I mean, now you galaxy brain and stuff to happen. So, I mean, is it in the range of outcomes? Sure. Chuba does have, injury history. So, but going into draft season, I think Chuba is the running back you want out of Carolina.
I think so too.
Awesome. All right. Let me bring up slide. What are we on? 4?
Yeah. Tight ends.
Yep. Tight end.
And Daisy keeps popping up here because what she's doing is she's saying, I want to go to bed. I'm really tired. Go put me to bed.
Daisy, go warm up the pillows. You want the pillows to be cold. Go warm up the spot near Mike's feet.
She has her own bed, by the way, but she doesn't want to be in it if you're not in the bedroom, right? Like so no, you go lay down. Go ahead. Good girl. She's just staring at me.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
She comes over often to join calls and meetings and stuff like this, head over the shoulder. Hi, everybody. Yeah. My cat, I'm surprised he didn't come up. He likes to show up sometimes too.
All right. So, Professor, we're looking at tight end data here. Trey McBride in the red, George Kittle in the red, Brock Bowers in the red, Tucker Kraft in the red.
Yep.
Obviously, that doesn't mean that they're going to not produce fantasy caliber numbers. No. Yeah, I just want to keep reiterating that because I don't want the audience to get the wrong idea that
we're fake. So my strategy is streaming tight ends for the most part, unless I can get a bargain, and I doubt Bowers and McBride and things will. Kittle might go. Because of his health, I don't know I'm going to check his medical, but I would if I drafted him, I'd have to have Tongas, his backup. And so it'd be a 1-2 kind of, thing. But I like Juwan Johnson. He's probably going to be part of, my tight end too, because I think you can get him fairly cheap.
10th round, 11th round, something like that.
And I like Tyler Warren, old Hunter Henry Travis Kelce, some of these old dogs, Harold Fanning looks pretty good. So Tucker Kraft, I'm really worried about. And, Goddard, I'm worried about. But,
Yeah, me too.
I think right now I can see 2 or 3 that I'll probably, and I hadn't looked at strength of schedule, but, I don't know how real that is. I asked Grok that question, and he basically looking at historical data. It's
With
what was going on last year. It's kind of hard to carry over to the playoffs in the next year. It usually things have changed. So I'm not as big a proponent as people are on
Right.
being.
The strength of
I
schedule
look week to
doesn't.
week. Yeah.
We don't know until like week 4 what defenses are good and bad at, and what offenses are good at with the changes to personnel. I actually talk about that in Moneymakers and Heartbreakers sometimes early in the season. Like, you don't understand, week 1 is the toughest week for me. It's literally the toughest week for me. I have zero data that's worth anything on a new season in week 1. So there's a lot of this guy's really good and a lot of this is what I think is going to happen, but I don't have any data points to work with. And then we hit like week 5, week 4, week 5, and it's like, oh, I kind of can tell you what's going on now, right? Like, I mean, look at how many defenses come out of the woodwork. Every year there's some defense that is just amazing that nobody drafted, right? Nobody knew they would be good. And sometimes it's scheme changes and like personnel changes, and sometimes very minor personnel changes, like 2 new guys in an offense change the entire dynamic of that offense. And we don't know until they start playing real games. The same with the defense. So yeah, it's hard the first few weeks to gauge exactly what's going to happen. I'm high on Juwan Johnson. By the way, he's a guy that when he's on the field, he seems to produce.
Yeah.
He missed some time last year.
Yes, he did.
I
mean, Tyler Shuck and Johnson, what a stack. Late guy stack.
Hunter Henry was a guy I liked because of the way the Patriots used him 2 years ago. Speaking of old stats, they didn't use him the same way last year. He had some good games, but they were against defenses that sucked at defending tight ends. That's who he had good games against. There was, I forget, I was watching a game with a group of friends, and I had just written up Hunter Henry because they were playing against a team that defended tight ends the worst, and he had like 2 or 3 touchdowns that game. And all my friends were like, they should do this with him every game. And I'm like, you don't understand. This team doesn't defend the tight end position well, right? Like, they don't defend the middle of the field well, and this is just Vrabel recognizing that, and him and McDaniel attacking that point. Oh, Mr. Fantasy Football. No, well, I mean, guys, I literally wrote about it. You know what I mean? I'm like
it's the Patriots to a T. The Patriots don't have they are going to attack what you give them. Like, that's McDaniel's MO.
Yep,
that's his MO.
That's what he did for. Well, he wasn't the offensive coordinator for 20 years, but that's what the Patriots did with Brady for 20 years.
Yeah.
Every week, that's what we attacked. I mean, that's
how you end up with guys like Jonas Gray having 4 rush touchdowns. Because we found the way like Jonas, Indianapolis Colts. That was who they played. I think they can't stop they couldn't stop the run. Like, okay, here you go, Jonas Gray.
Went on sports radio, talked like he was a superstar, didn't touch the ball again.
I know. He never saw the field again. That's hilarious.
That poor kid. Yeah. But I mean, I don't trust Dallas Goedert. I don't trust Dalton Schultz. I mean, those are guys I had some shares of last year. I don't really trust them. Same with Zach Ertz. Brenton Strange. last year he was a golden boy in the preseason god. We all thought Brenton Strange was going to be something special. Didn't happen. I am interested to see what's going to happen with the Chargers offense having Gadsden and Njoku on it, by the way.
Yeah, that was I threw that.
I know that's one of your questions too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very interested in that. And talking about that with you guys, by the way, when we get to that.
You want to let's touch on it now. We brought it up.
Yeah.
We kind of hit some of them as we went. So at the end, I'll just look and see which ones we didn't touch on.
Gadsden seems more like a deep threat wide receiver by the routes he runs and by how they utilized him.
Right.
And you know, when he had big games, their deep threat wide receiver did not. Right. They were using him in kind of in that position. So these guys can probably coexist, but there's a lot of mouths to feed now in that offense, right? Like a lot of mouths to feed. So I may be avoiding all pass catchers there because they have. I like what they have for talent. They have a lot of really good pass catchers, but that comes back to Joe, what you were saying about Herbert, right? That favors him more than any of the actual pass catchers. Too many branches on the tree for me, you know. So I'm kind of out on both guys. Again, we'll know more in August, but right now I'm not touching either one of those guys.
Right. It's probably going to be really hard to predict when to start and when to bench. Yep. And if you draft them as your tight end one, you know, it's hard to say that you want to roll with them every week. You know, because I do think Gadsden has got ridiculous talent. He was one of my favorite prospects coming in last year. You know that, Mike.
I know you talked about it this time of year. Yeah.
I took him in Scott Fish Bowl. I drafted him. I didn't pick him up off the free agents. I drafted Arondé Gadsden in Scott Fish Bowl. I drafted him in a couple of spots too in high stakes, and I took him in both in every dynasty team I had. I mean, I ended up giving up a couple of dynasty teams this year because I only want to focus on a couple, because dynasty is a lot of work, man. I don't know. The people who have like 20 or 30 dynasty teams, like Jamie Parag, I'm surprised he's not in the chat. Jamie's one of them. My God, like. That is a lot. A friend of mine, Austin Martin, high stakes dynasty player. He's got like 40 teams, and they're all like high buy-ins. It's insane. And you know, I get it. You build a monster, and then you cash every year, and it's like a nonstop money machine. But it's just a lot of work. Like I did 24 redraft teams last year. That was a lot of work. And to talk about, you know, 20, 30 dynasty teams, that's just like, when I decide I'm going to take a look at one of my dynasty rosters and evaluate, take a look, see if I could come up with any trades I could offer and see where I want to go just to spend a little bit of time on the roster and in the league itself. I'm looking at it for like a good hour and a half, and before I'm like, okay, you know, I did my studying on this team for the day, but I don't do that in redraft. In redraft, it's like 5 minutes, you know, because you're not thinking long term.
I only have one dynasty team, and I'm trying to cut down how many redraft leagues I play in again this year, because, you know, you hit a point where I would get asked to play in 24 leagues easily, 30, 40, 50 leagues. Probably I get asked to play in every year. And I can't manage the teams. And I spend Sunday morning answering fantasy football questions. And then I'm not setting lineups, right? Because somebody's out, but I'm answering fantasy football questions because it's my part-time job. You know what I mean? So I can't, it's either one or the other. You know what I mean? Either I play in a bunch of leagues or I do a good job trying to help people that are asking me for help. And I prefer to help the people asking me for help. So
nice. Yeah, I'll be downsizing this year myself. It was a lot last year for sure. When the season ended, my whole body was just like and like I shut that. Like I didn't do a show for almost 5 weeks. So
I purposely take a break. Yeah, you need a break. Yeah.
It was a lot. It was the most like fantasy, and I've spent a lot of time on fantasy football, but last year was the most I've ever spent on it, and it's because doing the shows and stuff. But
it's a lot of work. No,
doing
the show's a lot of work. You put a lot of work into the show.
Just doing the work for yourself and preparing for the leagues and the things without sharing it with the world is a lot of work. So to tack on, sharing it with the world, it's like double the work. But yeah. So all right, I kind of like your evaluation. I'm kind of in the same boat. In Dynasty, I'm not letting go of Gadsden. Gadsden is a 100% hold in Dynasty. He's going to be a tight end one. I mean, Njoku's not going to last forever. So
I love what it did for Harold Fannin.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I like that you bring that up. I'm big on Fannin this year. So last year I nailed my tight ends. The 3 tight ends I was targeting, and I don't think I had much of anybody else. It was Tucker Kraft, Ty Warren, and Harold Fannin.
I had a lot of Fannin myself.
Those were the 3 main targets, and I think I had some other. I had a Hunter Henry here and there, and there were some other guys, but those were my most owned. So now this year, looking at it this year, again, I'm in on Harold Fannin. Bowers, I'm only in on Bowers if he falls to round 3. I just don't think he's worth round 2. I feel that guys have big enough upside later on. I think Ty Warren has an upside. I think Kyle Pitts has an upside that when people are underestimating. He's just getting set. He's entering his Travis Kelce prime years, but only Kyle Pitts. Like took Travis Kelce 5 or 6 years to really.
Yeah, I think the
open up that gap.
I think the problem with Pitts was after his rookie season, the expectation was just too high. So like he's another guy. He's on my dynasty team, right? And after he flopped in year 2, people wanted to attain him from me, right, on the cheap. And I'm like, no, he's really young. You know what I mean? Like, just no. I'm going to hold on to the guys I drafted. Sometimes it takes time. And, everybody doesn't walk into the league and be a stud year in and year out. Sometimes it takes time. And it's taken him time. I don't think he's a top 3 guy, but I think he's going to be more consistent this year, kind of like he was last year, right?
And he's got, for sure, he's got spike week upside. I mean, he's easily the number 2 target on that team. And then you got Travis Kelce's kind of back on the menu now with this Rashee Rice stuff. I mean, if Rashee Rice ends up missing any games for whatever reason, Travis Kelce's probably going to get targeted. And another guy I think is going under the radar a little bit is Dalton Kincaid. With the signing of DJ Moore, I think that's going to open up things for Dalton Kincaid a lot more. I think he's going to not get – I mean, if you watch a Buffalo Bills game and the Patriots do it the best, they double – Kincaid is always double teamed. I don't know if you noticed that. When he's on the field, he's got last year his snap share was down compared to the first 2 years in the league. And I think teams realized that, and when they saw him on the field, they were like, all right, he's obviously going to be a focal point of this play. So he was consistently double teamed, and he still led the Buffalo Bills in touchdown catches. And he was playing injured, and he was missing time, wasn't 100%. Like I said, he missed a handful of games. So I think he's somebody going a little bit under it. I just think the position is real deep this year. So guys like McBride and Bowers got to fall to me. If Bowers falls to round 3, I don't think he's necessarily going to disappoint if you pick him in the second round. I just think that your overall roster construction can be, you can focus on other areas and still have high upside at tight end.
I would venture to say I will have no Brock Bowers and no Trey McBride this year because people will grab them as early as they can. Myself, that's
there's a lot of people that think Bowers is going to do like a 340 this year in PPR. Yeah, you know what I mean, and that's insane. If he does that, then obviously he pays off at that position. But I mean, you're expecting crazy sailing there.
There's a lot of mitigating risk in the early rounds for me of a draft, and that's one I will mitigate. I'm not going that way. It's just like I hear people trashing Trey McBride because they're insisting that with the change to the offense and added offensive weapons, his targets will go down. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I wasn't drafting him in the second round anyways. So for me, I'm like,
Yeah. I mean, I was huge on him last year, but that's because he was
cheaper.
He was cheaper of the two. Yeah.
Me too.
I think that, I mean, it's gonna be hard to replicate last year. But if it does fall off, does it fall? I don't think it falls off to the point where it's like, man, what a terrible pick that was. If it falls off,
I don't think. Yeah. See, I don't think it'll fall off like that either.
I mean, although it's
tight end, no matter what.
But this was. What if Jacoby Brissett isn't the quarterback all 17 games? This is also an unknown factor here because we saw when he went from Kyler Murray to Jacoby Brissett, that's when he really took off.
Michael Wilson too, right?
And right now Brissett's playing the game. I don't necessarily think he's holding out, but he's making it known that I want to be treated like a starting quarterback here. So he's missing the voluntary stuff.
Unfortunately for him, if he keeps doing that, he might end up being treated like the ex teammate.
They do have Gardner Minshew to fall back on, which I think is significantly worse than Jacoby Brissett. But it's still a veteran quarterback that they could fall back on, and they drafted Carson Beck. I don't think Carson Beck will ever really amount to anything, to be honest with you. But if they're tanking this season, which I honestly don't think that they plan on tanking. I don't know. Do you think they were doing a long-term build and they just decided that Jeremiah Love is that good that we're willing to take him and let him rot for a year, on a team that's going to not make the playoffs, and then maybe we'll find our quarterback next year? Is that what they're doing? Or did they take Jeremiah Love because they actually think that if their defense plays better, our offense is good enough that maybe we'll win some games and we're in this division that could be possibly winnable? I mean, what's that? San Francisco is the favorite, right? After that, it's kind of up in the air.
I don't think they're tanking at all.
So
I don't think so.
I think
GMs don't last long if they tank.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think we see Brissett all year, so I don't think we're going to see much of a fall. I know there's a lot of people that are off Brissett. He's this week's trending down player on social media for sure, but I still see him starting most of the games for the Cardinals. If they do eventually. It would take like an 0-9. Maybe we don't see Brissett no more, but I don't think they'll be 0-9. I think it's going to be closer. It'll be closer to like 4-9 when they get their 9th loss. And I think it'll be very late in the season if barring injury, of course, that we won't see Brissett in there, to be honest with you. So I'm expecting. I'm buying Michael Wilson for this year. I'm buying Trey McBride. I'm not necessarily like Trey McBride's ADP, but I don't think his production falls off to the point that it would make it a bad pick. It's just a roster construction preference, I guess. If you like the tight ends later on, it makes no sense to invest in a Trey McBride. But if you feel like he is going to give you an edge and that he is going to replicate it, and guys like Harold Fannin and Kyla Pitts and who else is there? Tucker Kraft, Dalton Kincaid. If you feel that they're that far down, based on tears, then Trey McBride's worth it, because I don't think that his production is going to go down to the point that it makes him a bad pick in the second round there. So that's my kind of how I feel about the tight end position as of now anyway. Professor, you've been quiet over there. I know
I'm
you
just letting
You say, did we put him to sleep?
Yeah, it's past my bedtime here.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm just enjoying letting y'all talk, thinking about things. I got research I'm trying to.
Colston Loveland, that was the other one I couldn't think of, the one that could challenge that tier.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm like I said, I'm working on some data posters. Dennis and I are presenting at the expo, so we will got data for the posters. Really, some interesting stuff here that if people want to come by, Dennis and I will be around somewhere. Bob Lung has allowed us to show up again and set up some easels and present some data. So I'm looking forward to that. I got 2 months here. Got to get those posters done and sent off to Poster Nerd. I like that company. So there you go. Poster Nerd.
Nice.
They're my friends here. They print good posters. So I will be doing that. So yeah, I'll be doing 3 or 4 hours watching the ponies, doing a little bit of investing there, and then doing more research. And I did, if you guys are into IDP, I'm not, but I did a research on defensive backs and generated a little bit of a model, and we'll see what it all means this year. But I've never played IDP but one time, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
I like it. I do Iggy's tournament. I've
got defensive backs estimated for this year, so I guess I should, if you'll remind me, I'll send you my model, and if it helps you, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll definitely take a look. It's a great format. Mike, do you play IDP? Have you played IDP? Oh, great. I did my first one last year in Iggy's FF7's charity tournament. There's like 4 or 6 leagues. I think it's 6 leagues actually. I get it to be exact, but what a great format, man. He makes it so there's only 5 bench spots. It makes it so challenging. You got to play a defensive back, a linebacker, a defensive lineman, and then 3 flex. So, and they could be any position, any defensive position. And then as well as your quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and your tight end and your kicker and your team defense. It was a lot of fun. I did pretty good. I had Rick, my co-host from Thursday, checked down last year. Rick Bruce Willis knocked me out of the playoffs, but had a good team. The Drake London injury and Devontae Adams losing them at the end of the year kind of killed me. But it was IDP is great, man. If you haven't tried IDP out, I highly advise doing at least one. Because it's fun, and it allows you to, if you never paid attention to the defensive side of the ball when you're watching the game, it really makes you pay attention to things like when you see guys come on and off the field, the personnel, like it makes you look at it from both angles, and it actually makes you a better fantasy football player because of it, because then you start to understand defensive schemes, and then you factor in why this offensive player, is good again. It just makes you understand the game better. So overall, it was a great experience. And when I went to the expo last year, I was there for the entire IDP panel, which that was like a little bit over an hour long. They broadcasted it live, so it is on YouTube somewhere. And I just sat there in silence and just took everything in. I learned so much. The IDP experts are really, 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 really good at what they do in evaluating key points that you should be paying attention to, if you're in these IDP leagues. So, and again, it's always fresh for your brain when you're learning something new, and it's not really new. It's fantasy football, but it's like a new wrinkle. And that's what makes it fun. So I highly recommend you try one league, Mike.
Yeah, almost talked me into it.
yeah, almost. Yeah.
Almost.
I was stubborn about it for 20 years. I get it. All right, so I brought up the wide receiver chart. This is the last slide I have, so we'll cover this real quick, and then I'll see if there's anything we left off my 10 questions I wanted to ask.
Let's see, what have I got here? Let's see. Well, the model likes JSN. Nobody's amazed there. Puka is still number 2, but I don't think he's going to do. The model says 10% less, but still, even that. So I think that was a high mark. So, I mean, I think 21 is a little bit more realistic. St. Brown, it should give you what he gave you. Devontae Adams is intriguing to me. I don't know where he's going, but, if he's far enough down, that might be an interesting bite to chew on. So will CeeDee Lamb. I suspect he'll cost you more. Chase, I know everybody's saying he's number 1. I like JSN. If that's who I'm picking between, I'm probably going there versus Chase. Only I think there's so much variation with the Burrows. If he's there, I was not happy with having my Chase last year, and Burrow being hurt. That was not fun to sit through that. That was unpleasant. And so there's probably some psychological scars. But this is the model. It's not me, not my opinion. Let's see what else. Everybody else is, Cortland Sutton, if Nix is what the model says, Cortland Sutton, 34% jump. That will be amazing. I mean, he'll be in a WR1? Wow. And then Tyreek Hill will be your last WR. So that would be interesting here. Here's the WR2s. There's a big tier right there. That was interesting. So many are kind of in the same boat there. So that was intriguing as well. Another one, if Keenan Allen can, shoot up his joints with the elephant juice or whatever he was going on, I think he still might have a little bit left in him. The model sure does. Loved what he did when he was doing it. So that might be somebody interesting. Scary Terry should be scary again. He's should be even better than he was last year, and Myers should be better as well. So there's a lot of optimism deeper this year and a little bit more pessimism earlier. That's kind of the landscape I see overall. So that means we can find some bargains here in some of our plays.
It tends wide receiver is the deepest position, right? There's just the drop off typically points wise.
Yeah.
from the top tier on is just many, many more wide receivers usually than say running backs, right? I still like to load up on wide receivers and running backs early in drafts, by the way, because, guys who get lots of targets are guys I want.
Sure, opportunity.
But yeah, the drop off lasts longer. So, there's guys here that I mean, some of them are in different situations, but should still do really, really well. I know the rookie stay in Tennessee is someone everybody's touting, but Wan'Dale Robinson's in Tennessee now too, right? And
I like him.
Very good last year, by the way.
Yeah, I thought he was. Yeah,
he catches a lot of balls. I know he's never seen a tackle he wanted to make miss, but he catches a lot of footballs. So last year he caught a lot of deep balls too, not just catching balls in the slot and falling down like he did the year before. He's a guy, I mean, that team's going to look different offensively for sure than the Titans are this year. And that's probably a bargain where you can get him at his ADP.
Yeah.
Like a massive bargain. There's guys like that I will be targeting late. For sure.
It is the three positions, running back, tight end, and wide receivers. I actually going to have a poster, and I've got a way to look at opportunities versus consistency from rookie to year 9. And it's really interesting what the graphs look like between the three positions. Dennis and I actually did a data lab on that, and if you want to see the work, it's there. And Dennis and I chewed on it. Like I said, nobody pays attention to me, and that's probably good because I don't have time to help too many folks. But anyway, I'm gonna put this together in a poster. I think you'll find that very intriguing. And Dennis was a little bit. Dennis had some good points, so I would urge people to go to the TSA website and check out my post. Data Lab episode 10, opportunity versus consistency over a career arc. Nobody has ever done that I've ever heard of. And I've been doing stuff like that for a while and will continue. And like I said, it's not going to be mainstream, and that's fine. I need to make money, so I don't need it mainstream. So anyway, just saying.
I get you, man. That's the poker in me. Poker player in me is the same way. I'm like, I go out here and I give my honest opinions on stuff, and then I afterwards I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like, all my opponents are listening to what I'm saying, but it's for the one or two people that actually take something away from it. It's and that's all really it takes. It is a couple of people to shoot you a DM here and there saying, dude, that was an awesome show, and I learned a lot. Or I've been listening to you for a few weeks, and I really did learn a lot about drafting. Like that's what it's for. It's the one or two people that really, really appreciate it. Makes up for the fact that you're giving away all your secrets, I guess. Or sharing your opinions and really how you're approaching these drafts and why. I mean, it does take a lot to really give it all away, to be honest with you. But I get you, Professor.
Well, yeah, and but I like big top down research. That's how that's how I've always done my research, is trying to understand the whole system and then deconstruct it down to the parts. And so I asked that question, how does that measure up between the two in the positions? Not by the individual player, but as a group. And I sampled the top 25 end of season players, and I tracked that population over 9 years, and just was curious about where we could chart their opportunities, where we could chart their consistency. And it's probably not like you imagine. And so that it just makes you think in general about that. And so I'm trying to inspire some of your own research. I mean, that's our motto on Science of Fantasy, is try to teach you use the scientific method. And that means questions, testing, data analysis. And it's not fun, and it's not 5 minutes before the draft and you're swilling your third 6-pack and you're going in and just picking, no. I've been working on this since February on data stuff. So it's just a continuation here. So,
well,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I prefer that my opponents read magazines that were printed in May when they're.
Isn't that good? Yeah, that is really good for May drafts, but I'm using drafting in August. So yeah, I like that. Out of date is good.
I've actually made fun of people for doing that at live drafts before. Hey, when was that magazine published? May. Yeah.
And so that means the data had to be in by March.
Yeah.
Typesetters and stuff, and getting it all formatted. Yeah.
I've had a couple of industry people pick on me when I've made fun of it on X. Hey, I write one of those. Oops.
Yeah. I like it. I like when you tease folks. That's good. I approve. Professor approved teasing.
You have to do that.
I like that.
I don't know. Joe's been in a couple of Scott Fishbowl drafts with me. I was pretty tame in those. My first Scott Fishbowl draft was pretty violent for everybody else. I sniped the crap out of the biggest names at my draft, and they were all like, "Is that the guy who's such a nice guy on X? God, he's a shark.
He's mean."
I was like, wait till you see my next pick.
Yeah. I love it.
But
last year you did well, despite the fact that I took all the good players right before you.
I didn't do as well as I normally do. I mean, Leo would make fun of me because I made fun of him because he won't play in a division with me anymore. But I kept winning the division, and he would say, "Yeah, but you have the second most points." Yeah, but I also went the second deepest out of people in our division in the playoffs.
That's not the format. It's not.
So, I get it. The points count. Scott Fishbowl, the points count a lot, right? To get you into the playoffs. But I'm like, yeah, I win every week. It's head to head. That's what counts.
All it does is give you slack in the playoffs, and it doesn't guarantee you to be.
That is the hardest playoff format I've ever been in.
It just gives you a little bit of slack. That's it.
I think I made the semifinals once in Scott Fishbowl.
I made the playoffs all 3 years, and I think the second year I went the furthest. The first last year and the year before, I got knocked out the same week. I think a couple weeks in. It's always that, because the playoffs start in round 10 or round 11, week 11, I mean, and you got the bye weeks. There's always that 1 week where you get 3 bye weeks, and then you have a guy that got injured. Now you're looking at
I'll give you Gridiron Granny's secret, who I sit next to at the draft, and she didn't tell me. I just have played in the same division with her for like 5 or 6 years. She's gone to the finals a few times, and she never finishes first in the division. I mean, I'm in the division, so how could she? But she goes deep in the playoffs, and it's because she saves all her fab. And then when the end of the season comes, she is the one getting everybody off the waiver wire for the playoffs, and it just You know how there's always that guy in the playoffs that if you get him on the waiver wire, you seem to go deep into the playoffs or win it all. She gets all of those guys for the most part. The only time she didn't do it was this year, because I also saved a bunch of fab after seeing that she did it the last 2 years and said, you know what? I'm not going to let her get all those guys. I'm saving fab too.
Yeah, this is a big advantage because only the teams that are still alive in your league are allowed to pick up players.
Yes, and we both went pretty deep in the playoffs last year, and that's why, like, the teams that win like something like that, it happens in regular redraft leagues too, by the way. The guys who add the guys off the waiver wire that are successful in the playoffs, those are you, and aren't afraid to play them. Those are the teams that usually win. Because so many guys that were producing all year might only play half a game because their team was 12-4, 13-3, or whatever, and they're not playing a full game. They're getting rested, and you blow them out with some bench guy. You got to have the guts to do it, but it happens. That's typically what I see happening.
Right.
And then people will tell you, see, it's all luck.
And you pair it with the core players that you have that are still rolling.
Yes. Yeah. And when someone like the Gridiron Granny does that, it is not luck. That is her strategy. She is an excellent fantasy player. Like, excellent fantasy player.
I agree.
It's not luck at all. It's pure strategy.
I agree. She was tough last year.
Oh, yeah. She's good. She wins a lot of money every year. I've talked to her about it. Her ROI is high.
It's good.
I can see that. Absolutely.
She's the one that, people in the work league probably say, are you sure you want to play? It's really competitive. And then she kicks the crap out of all of them.
Nice.
That's a couple of my friends who are diehard fantasy guys join work leagues here and there, and that's what they always get told. Are you sure? I mean, we're real competitive. One of my friends laughs every time he hears that. He's like, yeah, sure you are. Okay, we'll see how competitive you are.
So there is one question on my sheet here that I want to ask you guys.
Okay.
Just because I got to shout out Nick's Grip. He made a post. It was either early this morning or yesterday. I forget when the hell I saw it. But he tweeted out, who has the best chance to beat out Josh Allen for QB1? So I want your guys' opinion. We answered?
We did. John, go ahead, answer it.
Drake May.
Yep. You guys
now, is he the best value? But no, I think just throw all that out, just head to head. That's who I'm, in Vegas, that's who I'm laying my money on.
I like it.
I'm looking at the prop here. We need to get some props going.
Trevor Lawrence has a shot at it too. I would put Drake May.
I think. I mean, obviously Allen has a shot. I have those three in a tier. So yeah, but I think Drake May. I really thought he was sharp. He sharpened up last year.
If you want a dark horse, I would say Jackson Dart is like a dark horse to enter that.
If he will quit running with his head.
Yeah, but he has the ability to produce massive fantasy points as well.
He does.
Yeah, I enjoyed playing him last year. It was really nice.
Yeah, Drake May is the guy.
Nobody's worried about the schedule being tougher.
No.
All right.
I'm not sure his story. I actually asked Grok about that, and it's like I said, it's hard to figure out the playoff schedule.
Data too, right? That's what it's based off of.
Yeah, last year's stuff. It's really.
Yeah, you're gonna factor in some thoughts on what's going on and what's happening.
Was he bad against good teams? No, he was not.
Like fantasy points wise, no.
Yeah,
you know what scares me about him a little bit though is sometimes the game script can go run heavy with the Patriots and
what scares me about him and I'm going to say real football as a Patriots fan, the thing I don't like, and sometimes I love, is he throws this floater. Every game he throws at least one or two floaters. Like the ball just kind of
it's always rushed. And it's always rushed. It's always rushed. Yeah.
Yes. And if it's not like some awesome 40, 50-yard pass, it's intercepted. There's no in-betweens with his floater, right? Like when it's hanging up there, you just see defenders looking at it, and I'm like, oh God, they're gonna get it again. Every time he does it. And it's how he plays the game, right? So you really can't tell him not to do it because it would probably take away from his game. And again, real football fan talking about it, I just hate it when he throws the floater. I hate that.
Yeah, no, the only thing that worries about me, what I worry about is when the game script gets away from him. You know,
he still was getting roughly 2 touchdowns a game though when they were run heavy too.
And he does run in himself sometimes as well. So I mean, he is good, probably good for 5 or 6 rushing touchdowns, right?
So that, by the way, this isn't an endorsement saying Drake May will definitely be the overall QB1 for the season.
No,
what we're saying is, out of everyone's range of outcomes, he has the best chance of doing it. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, that's cool. I like that. I don't know. Is there anything else you guys want to touch on?
No, we're past my bedtime too now, guys.
Yeah.
Are y'all tired? Then, yeah. The only thing I would add, Dennis has an article on his opportunity index, his guesses, and he's got that out. If you want to see who he's guessing some of the secret players might be, you might check that article out at Science Fantasy. I would do that. Put it in your little notebook. Absolutely. See if it works. See if Dennis makes you money. If he doesn't, throw rotten fruit at him at the expo.
The MVP,
I'm not Dennis. No.
The MVP index is a nice tool that he come up with. I will say that. I like that little process he has.
I like that too.
Yeah, I made him do that. He would sit there and have all these, and he'd jump around. I said, just give me a probability. I don't care if you're right or wrong. Let's test something. Are you good or not? Let's test your gut. Are you good or not? And I made an article about mixing metrics for your gut opinion versus real data and mold it together. So I produced a thing on that. If you want to try, but again, couple years of data. Very few people have patience. They're mad week 1, much less trying to do their tests for the 17th. They're throwing stuff, and it's crazy, just like horse racing. It's crazy. People get crazy. I've seen it all the time.
I also try to tell people never go with your gut. That just could be indigestion. I mean,
yeah, it could be.
You don't know, like. People like, no, you should always go with your gut. I'm like, no,
well,
you'll feel better when you miss. But
Mike, just say, let me see your last, 3 or 4 years of data. And then like, like a student says, Dr. Bush, I was sick. I said, well, let me see that doctor's note. I didn't get one. Well, why don't you go back and bring it to me? I'll let you take the test. Finally, I had a hangover and I just couldn't make it. Well, be honest.
I'm an IT guy, and I would deal with people that would say things like, I'm managing a $20 million global program, and people are like, well, my opinion is this. Based on what? That's what I think. Based on what? Like, you don't understand. You're not making me miss a go live date based on a feeling. You have, like, absolutely not. And so many people like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm so methodical, and that's how come I like you guys from the Science of Fantasy Football so much. I'm so methodical with my approach because of what I do for a living. And people are like, what? Yeah, my job is to mitigate risk. My job is to plan,
which is very hard to do, by the way, folks.
It's hard to do in fantasy football too, but
it is.
but you can mitigate risk by like not picking the rookie running back who you liked in college in round 1 just because you think he's gonna have lots of opportunity. Yeah. They wouldn't have drafted him in the first round if they weren't. No. Sometimes they draft a guy in the first round and he doesn't earn the top spot. It happens. You got to be careful.
Yeah,
you do. You have to be careful. If you drafted Ashton Genty last year and he's a great running back, you were probably very disappointed that you took him with a top 10 pick.
Yes.
And I took heat. Yeah. I took heat for telling people, don't do that.
Yeah. I like it. Methodical. Slowly crush your opponents. I like it. Week by week.
But
collect their tears. Collect their tears. I like it.
That's a good team name right there. Collect their tears.
Collect the tears. Maybe that's my new name this year. I can't put myself as Dr. Bush, science fan, because I don't want to tip off. Yeah, I think I'll do collector of tears. Yeah, that'll be who I am this year.
There you go.
That sounds like a pro wrestler's name.
Yeah,
he is the collector of tears.
Undertaker. Yeah, collector of tears.
The collector of tears.
Nice. A new fantasy name born.
Yeah, I like that. Collector of tears.
You can go like this. Is it like this? Instead of
yeah, you can do this.
Yeah, please wham some more. Please wham some more.
Oh man,
I'm sorry. I should be sweet. I'm retired. I don't have to be sweet anymore.
When I say wham, you say wham, wham.
Wham. I like it. We could get a rap going. Okay.
Oh man. Well, Mike, why don't you tell the peeps where they can find you and your work during the season? Now, I don't know if you're doing any writing now, but
soon, because I have draft strategy articles to write for Fantrax. I write at Fantrax. I talk at Optimus Fantasy, and sometimes Joe is gracious enough to have me on here. So pretty easy to find.
Quite a bit. Mike is episode number 1.
Nice
guy. He was on episode 1 with
Tough. Hey, that's pretty good gun right there. I like it.
I don't know the other.
See, I'm going the other way here. Gravity is getting me here.
Episode 39 and a couple other ones I can't remember off the bat. But same thing with you, Professor. You guys are multiple guests now, multiple appearances.
That's right. I've been on here a few times. Yeah.
I'm a supporting actor on the show. That's what I am.
Yeah.
No, it's always a great conversation with you guys. This was a great show. Professor,
I'm Science of Fantasy Football. Come see me. You and about 2 others come visit. Hey, y'all come be my friends. I need interns, actually. I need some folks who will. I got projects. I just don't have time. Let's make money together. Come on now.
You want interns. Some data scientist interns. That's what you really want.
Look, I need, at this point, if you made a B in algebra, come on, let's go. I'll find you a project. Okay. B in algebra. That's kind of the limit there. Trigonometry is C, but algebra. Come on now.
I'm overqualified. Excellent.
That was the only thing I was good at was math and friggin' science, I guess. So psychology science, not so much biology.
That explains your fantasy football abilities.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I had a friend who played fantasy football 1 season. He was really good. And he's like, I only played 1 season. I don't know. I won the league. They never invited me back.
Oh man.
He was a guy that was he was an administrator of a database.
Nice.
So he's like, that's probably why I was good at it, huh? That is exactly why you were good at it.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Nice.
Yeah,
All right,
it's
guys.
numbers, guys. That's what it
I
is.
like numbers.
But all right, I'm getting goofy because I'm tired, and as you
Yeah.
saw, Daisy wants me to tell her it's time to go to bed. She's getting up again over here now.
I like it.
Daisy definitely did the butt rub on your pillow, I think, already.
No, she's coming up behind. No, she found a blanket to go lay down on, and here she comes
Nice.
again. She's like, "We're going to bed." Excellent.
Nice. The pod is over. Yeah.
Here, come here.
Well,
All right.
Professor's
Thanks for having
dropping
me,
shit.
Joe.
We got to get out of here because
Yeah.
we're starting to fall off our chairs and everything else.
Thanks for having me, Joe. And
Absolutely.
John,
Great.
always a pleasure. We'll talk to you
This
later.
is my dog.
Oh, I love it. He's a
Thorin.
dog. Was she French bulldog?
Yep, French Bulldog.
Nice.
You give me some sugar. She helps me win.
Nice.
Adorable.
We'll end it on that. Good night, guys.